Welcome, guys. I'm tired of spamming remote events for every little value like health and stamina or any other values. Today, I'm going to show you a cleaner way. Use attributes as your network pipeline. We'll build a server authoritative replicator, so you write to a table using dot notation, and it's going to auto-replicate as an attribute which the client can see. No giant if chains and no big God script. Attributes are synced by the engine. Just don't use this for private data like an inventory or any sensitive info. You can still use remote events for that. We wrap the table with a meta table, and we use the new index meta method. What this does is, on writing a new value, if it doesn't exist, like this health value, it'll call the new index method. Then it's as simple as setting the attribute just like this. Let's say we have this table. We'll create a new proxy feeding it the table, and then we can just view and edit it just like this. But keep watching till the end because the final product is something much different from what you see now, and it's pretty useful. We have this constructor that takes in an instance or a parent proxy, a table of attributes, a key to be used as the name, it's optional for the initial parent, and ID which will be stamped onto the instance. To simplify, it creates the configuration instance using the parameters. Then we define the proxy itself, and at the very end, we transfer any attributes from the table into the proxy. Our new index meta method takes in a table and the key and the value we try to write to. Using those values, we can simply set the attribute. But we need to make sure that if this value is a table, we don't set it as an attribute because that will result in an error. Instead, we'll create a new proxy just for that table, which in turn will allow for nesting tables. Then we do something similar to the index meta method. We will first get the value, and if the value is a table, we'll return its proxy. Otherwise, we'll just return the value itself. Now we can support nesting and keep track of a table like this. Now to make something similar on the client, it's much easier since we already have the instance created. We just have to make use of the three connections right here. Key note to keep in mind, I keep calling them client and server side proxy, but they're both individual modules that can be used on whichever client or server. But for the sake of the attribute replicator I'm trying to create, it's best to just stick to, a server side proxy and a client side proxy, and then the main module which just combines them and uses them. You know what I mean? And speaking of the attribute replicator, we're finally here. So this module has three main functions, with one of them having 4 variants for different situations. First, and most importantly, the new function. It basically just uses the server proxy module and creates one based off of a table or like an attribute data. And then we have attach for the client side, which takes in an instance instead of a table, and then it creates a config off of that. Uses the client proxy module with its 4 variants: attach ID, attach name, attach tag, and query. They all basically do the same thing, but take in different parameters based on the information available, and they all return a client proxy, with the exception of attach tag, which can return a table of client proxies because of tags, And lastly, we have watch tag, which returns a tag watcher instead of a proxy object. It's kind of self-explanatory. It just acts like any collection tag service or collection service tag thingamajiggy. Now, how would we use it? First, we need to keep in mind this options type because it's how the proxy itself can be accessed between server and client. So on the server side, we create a new proxy using the module, and as you can see, we feed it the options like name, ID, and tag, which can then later be accessed from the client based off of all or any single one of them, and they're all optional, so you don't need them. Then on the client, we attach the actual instance And the 4 variants come in here because if you don't know where the actual instance is, like the path of it, you can attach by putting its name or ID or tag or any of the other things stated above right here. And then we have these functions that are kind of self-explanatory.